Hi, I'm Steve Daines. My pronouns are Republican majority. I have a simple message for Chuck Schumer and for Bob Casey. It's over.
It's part of our culture. If you're aware of your culture, you know that it's in there. In our people, we have a clan called Tashchi. That means that you put red paint on. When I was a little kid, my grandmother used to put red ochre on my face and go herd sheep because it shields you from the sun. And then another thing as well is we have ceremonies where we have paintings of red to bring about healing and restoring balance and harmony. And that's what we associate with it. But even in their landscape, we have songs that talked about when their father sun sets. Before it says good night to us, it paints all the mountains red. And the most sacred places, landscapes are painted red before he bids us good night. So it's part of our way, of our life. We're not victims. We don't want to be victims. And it's unfortunate that whoever is behind us is victimizing other people for their own self-interest and funding all these movements. It's for their self-interest, and we have to be aware of those things. But up in Navajo country, over 90% of Navajo people, they're fine. They like the name Redskin, and they want to keep it that way.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about another story about how the world is already getting better post-Trump winning the election, and he's not even in office yet, okay? We talked about Walmart getting rid of their DEI efforts. They're saying, listen, we're not going to discriminate when it comes to suppliers. We're going to focus on meritocracy. We're not going to sell woke paraphernalia to children. We're just going to focus on our core business and making money, which is exactly what the American people want. That's what they want businesses, entities, to focus on, right? That's what they want, okay? Not on being woke, okay? And that takes us to this next story here about the Washington Redskins, now called the Washington Commanders. Now, me personally, I never stopped calling them Redskins because that's just who they are to me, right? I grew up with the Washington football team being the Redskins, okay? It's an iconic name. It's an iconic image. And I'm not going to stop using the name because it's just what it is, okay? And apparently they're now bringing that back, right? They're now agreeing to uncancel the Redskins logo after Republican Senator Steve Daines, along with some base Native Americans, have petitioned the team to bring it back in exchange for the stadium being administrated by the District of Columbia instead of the federal government, which would open up the stadium to being rebuilt, okay, them getting a whole new stadium. But again, a part of the agreement is that, hey, you have to stop with all this woke cancel culture, which apparently is something that the Redskins are agreeing to. Take a look.
But this logo here is at the center of a dispute. Montana Senator Steve Daines was balking on signing off on this because they wanted to throw this old logo into the dustbin. What do you say, Todd?
Yeah, this is a lot more than just where's John Roberts and his family going to watch the next game? Is it going to be in Maryland or is it going to be in D.C.? What is that issue, like you mentioned, is a negotiation that Steve Daines has been having with the league, with the team, to make sure that a member of a tribe in his home state of Montana who created this logo will be allowed to incorporate the logo into something, whether it be a throwback commander's uniform, something in the stadium. In some way, shape, or form, they want to have this representation because, as you well know, this logo represents the heart of when the Washington franchise was at its best. John, there's also the fact of the matter in November 5th, woke died. I mean, you look around the country, woke died on November 5th, and it seems, I don't know if you've interviewed these people, I sure have, so many members of the Native American community want the logo to remain. They were upset when the team became the Commanders and was no longer the Redskins. And so it seems that the people holding this up or who are upset that this logo could even make an appearance in a throwback uniform are the white liberals who lost resoundingly on November 5th. Hopefully.
We were calling out leaders on a case of really woke gone wrong. The irony that they were canceling Native American culture as the DEI movement went way too far. Look, this is honoring a Blackfeet chief who was born in Montana. He's highly esteemed. The Blackfeet tribe of Montana, their current chairman and the tribal council signed a letter in strong support to bring the logo back. It honors Indian country. So we've had good discussions with the NFL and with the Commanders. There's good faith negotiations going forward that's going to allow this logo to be used again. Perhaps revenues going to a foundation that could help Native Americans in sports and so forth. We're making good progress. And based on the good faith negotiations, I made the decision to support this bill yesterday in the committee.
I know that they put a plaque up at Northwest Stadium honoring Wetzel and the logo. It'd be great to see it back on the helmets again. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so I love this kind of like reverse Uno DEI card that's being played by the Republicans here, right? It's actually hilarious. It's just as hilarious as Nancy Mace pulling the feminist card or the Democrats when it comes to the whole trans issue, okay? Because what the Republicans are essentially arguing is that, hey, the Washington football team here isn't being very inclusive by erasing the Redskins logo, because you have Native American tribes that feel like they're not being represented, that they're being erased because of the woke cancellation of the Redskins logo that came in 2020 when all of these companies, all of corporate America was going woke, right? And now, fast forward 4 years later, a lot of companies, they're reversing course on that because they realize that it was a disaster, okay? And this is a part of that. Now, we got to talk about exactly what this means, because it doesn't necessarily mean that the Washington football team is going to change their name back to the Redskins. It just means that they're not going to actively censor the logo, right? They're going to bring the logo back and have it be sold as paraphernalia, I guess, as a part of like throwback stuff. Maybe it will be used in the game or whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to change the name back to Redskins. But let's read here. Washington Commanders managing partner Josh Harris and the NFL Commanders ownership group have agreed to uncancel the Redskins, the iconic Blackfoot Chief logo history. In a post on Facebook by Republican Montana Senator Steve Daines, the congressman wrote, quote, "The censorship of the former Commanders logo was a classic case of woke gone wrong. I applaud the Commanders and the NFL for their commitment to never censor the logo again." Yeah, the irony here is that they essentially replaced the Redskins logo, which Native Americans saw as a way to honor them, with a new name and logo that represents the colonizers, right? Again, that's the irony here. You replaced a logo and a name that honors Native Americans, okay? It's not offensive. It honors them. And you replaced it with a name that honors the colonizers, okay? In the name of wokeness. Fascinating stuff, right? Fascinating. It shows you how ass backwards a lot of this stuff is. Quote, "In working with the Walter Blackie Wetzel family to restore the logo to a place of prominence and honor to benefit Indian country," he added, mentioning the Native American artist who used Blackfoot Chief John Two Guns Whitecap as the inspiration for the logo the NFL team used for almost 50 years. In 2020, the team announced it was removing Redskins from its name, and 2 years later announced the National Professional Football Team would be called the Washington Commanders. The name change came about from pressure from the cancel culture mob following the death of George Floyd and those who claimed that the term was racist and offensive to Native Americans. A whole bunch of people claiming that this is offensive, most of them not Native Americans, right? The Native Americans are like, yo, we want to keep it, okay? Just give us a little piece, right? Give us a little piece off the top, and you can keep it. Which, hey, I don't blame the Native Americans for doing that, right? I don't blame it. I mean, I think that's right. I think that's fair, okay? They get to use the logo, get the Native Americans a little piece, right, off the top for using the logo, and keep it moving, okay? Everybody's happy. What is wrong with this? I don't understand. I don't get it. So yeah, they're celebrating this. They are. Unerasing the logo would also mean that if Wetzel wanted to use the logo in a throwback uniform or something created to be posted in the stadium, etc., he could, Fox News noted. Wetzel's grandson, Ryan Wetzel, said that he feels good that a plan will come about to honor his grandfather's legacy, the Daily Montanan reported. Quote, "It's exciting to even have that conversation after they said it. The logo would be gone forever," Wetzel said. Again, I personally think they should just go ahead and just change the name back to Redskins, right? Just go ahead and unwokify this whole thing, right? Just unwokify it 100%. Change it back to Redskins. I demand a complete unwokification of the Washington football team. I'm not going to be happy until we get that, okay? Change the official logo back, change the official name back, and just keep it the way it was. It was an iconic name. It's something that is going to be ingrained in the minds of NFL fans for history. I get most people in private conversations, they don't call them the Commanders. They call them the Redskins. They call them the Skins, okay? And I am one of these people. I'm never going to stop calling them that because that is their name, right? That is the name of the Washington football team. And I don't care if the white liberals complain, right? If the white liberals complain, just say they're racist, right? You're racist against Native Americans if you refuse to have the team change the name back to Redskins, the logo back to Redskins, in order to honor the Native Americans. That is racism, okay? That's what I would do. That's the strategy, okay? Any white liberals that disagree, you're racist, right? I mean, I'm just saying that's the only explanation, because the Native Americans want it back, okay? The people that the logo originally honored feel like they're being erased by wokeism, and we just can't have that because representation matters, right? According to these people, representation matters. In fact, while we're at it, bring back Aunt Jemima. Let's bring that back. Let's bring back Uncle Ben's, okay? Let's bring back all this stuff, okay? As a black person, I'm offended. I'm offended by the erasure of black people on food labels, okay? I'm gonna tell you, that's the easiest way. The easiest way to sell a food product is to put a black person on it. I'm so serious, okay? That's the easiest way. You erasing iconic imagery by removing blacks from food products, from food labels. I'm so serious. I want to bring it all back. I want to unwokify everything. And until everything is unwokified, until we reverse all the nonsense that happened in this country since 2020, I'm not going to be satisfied. So I'm just saying, this is a step in the right direction. They just need to go further, right? Hopefully they decide to go further with this, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.